learning. What this bill does, AB 1223, is it authorizes the Commission on Teacher Credentialing to set up a study group to look at what goes into making a good linked learning teacher, and will then authorize that a recognition of study be placed on credentials of teacher education students who get out of teacher education classes where there is a linked learning emphasis. And this kind of recognition of study on a credential will enable principals or others doing hiring to identify those teachers who might best be able to teach a linked learning environment. We have support of this bill from the California PTA, the California School Boards Association, California State University, Commission on Teacher Credentialing, and Chambers of Commerce up and down the state. Today we have a couple of witnesses here to speak to AB 1223.
Okay, welcome.
Wes Larson, California State University. We play a key role, we think, in preparing teachers in this linked learning environment. We have 7 campuses that are actually engaged, and we ask for your aye vote.
Next witness.
I'm Nancy Vandell, and I'm with the California State PTA, and we consider multiple pathways and linked learning one of the most important academic activities that we can be doing as a state, and we very much support this bill and ask for your support.
Okay. Other witnesses in support?
Terry Burns on behalf of the California Association of Regional Occupational Centers and Programs. We have a couple of issues with the bill. We're very much in support of the concept, but we would like to see an ROP representative specifically included in the working group. We would like to see that the designated subject credentialed teachers also be eligible for the linked learning certificate, and that there is some discussion of career choices during high school and the ROP level. It talks about career choices after high school, and we're looking for that.
Other witnesses?
Thank you.
Madam Chair and members, Brian Rivas on behalf of the California School Boards Association in support of the bill. We think it will help raise awareness about what it takes to be successful for teachers in these programs and establish a pipeline. So we urge an aye vote.
All right. Others?
Marilyn Eric, Commission on Teacher Credentialing, in full support.
All right. Any other witnesses in support? Witnesses in opposition? And let me ask the Assemblyman, there were some recommendations here in terms of including more into that working group. Are you amenable to that?
Yeah, we'd be happy to explore that with the Commission on Teacher Credentialing. ROP representative makes some sense to me.
Okay.
Madam Chair, members, welcome Senator Emerson. Fred Jones on behalf of the California Business Education Association. It's with regret that we have taken an opposed position on the bill, and we take it for a lot of reasons, but I'm not going to spend a lot of time discussing it. Let me make a couple things clear, though. This is not about career technical education programs, and it does nothing for career technical education teachers. This bill focuses solely upon core academic instruction, and specifically core academic instructors. There are some potential implications that are of profound concern to those of us who support bona fide, hands-on, industry-relevant career technical education programs located at each high school campus and supported by capstone courses at ROP programs. One of them is we are worried that there will be a grab for career technical education dollars, a redirection from bona fide CTE programs, which are in categorical flex right now and losing their funding streams, to core academic departments. That's of deep concern to us. We're also worried in this era of declining education revenues that districts will be tempted to do CTE on the cheap and let an English teacher teach the theory of automotive technology or business, but not actual automotive hands-on technology or actual business instruction, and check the box on their Education 51228B requirement to prepare all kids with entry-level work skills. So there are a lot of implications of this bill that are potentially harmful, we believe, to bona fide, genuine, industry-relevant CTE programs. Let me also say that the intent language in this bill is pretty far-reaching in its complete embrace of linked learning programs, of which did not exist last year. It was called multiple pathways. This is a moving target. Every time we try to define it and pin it down, the definitions change. So we have a lot of concerns. And let me just end by saying this. The bill isn't necessary. Your analysis points it out. So why is there a push for it? It's a push to put in statute this body's complete endorsement of a trademark version called linked learning programs. I'm not sure they're proven. By the way, we support the idea of moving toward linked learning programs. But the AB 2648 report that was just released 2 weeks ago, in its own findings, finds that it will cost the state at least $1,500 per student to transform a high school into a linked learning program high school. That's just the state version. Some say that it's actually closer to $4,500 after you consider their partnership academy model that they use to design or come up with that $1,500 figure. So while we support the idea of transforming high schools, integrating career tech themes into core academic instruction, having cross-collaboration, which is the intent of this bill, which we support, the concern we have is career tech is dying. My teachers are being laid off. Our programs, once shut, will never come back because it's too expensive to buy the product, the equipment that they're selling for pennies on the dollar. When our teachers retire, they'll never get them back. And while the author may think that community colleges can handle those hands-on training courses, if we don't get kids enrolled in high school and in tune and connected, they'll never see a community college campus. They won't even make it through high school. So for these reasons and many more, we have to oppose this bill. Thank you.
All right. Others in opposition? Questions from the committee? Senator Huff?
Yes. Assemblymember Block, could you speak to the issue particularly about the cost to the state and also the grab of dollars in the CTE? What's your perspective on that?
There is a cost in setting up partnership these academies, in setting up small schools, but there already exist hundreds of small schools and academies across the state. This bill would not set up a single additional academy, so there is no cost in setting up. That's a straw man. It's not a real concern with this bill. What this bill does is it places a recognition on a credential that teachers get that recognizes that they've been trained to be especially effective in teaching in these academies, in these small schools. So the idea of having to set up more academies or any cost to that end is absolutely a non-issue with regard to this bill. I strongly support CTE. I was president of the Statewide Association of County Boards of Education many years ago, where ROP often is located. I think it's essential that we beef up CTE, but we can't ignore programs that deal with rigorous academic coursework. I appreciate Fred saying that he supports, in theory, what we're trying to do here. The objection is everybody's concerned about dollars these days, but this bill does not take any dollars to set up any more academies. All this bill does is recognizes training already being done in many CSU campuses and presents, it creates a work group that Commission on Teacher Credentialing will absorb the cost of that, creates a work group just to decide how best to teach students in these academies that already exist.
Yeah, I think my concern, multiple pathways, linked learning, whatever you want to call it, vocational education. I think it's important that we offer a learning environment for kids that are not academic, that are bright, that are tactile learners, that are not just for whatever reasons they don't want to go to college, but they need to have a skill they can make a living on. And we've seen a resurgence, I think, in the Capitol in trying to direct money to that and trying to jumpstart again what once we used to have. I am concerned on this that while it doesn't specifically, it's not a direct cost. It's like throwing a sponge in a bucket and saying the sponge doesn't need water. It will suck up the water. It's just what they do. And these are expensive programs to implement, to get it all articulated, to have the, to make it fit the A to G curriculum and everything, because I believe that's where you're headed with this, correct?
Many of these courses will be A to G curriculum courses. Yes, that's correct.
Right. And so there again, some of these kids who just fundamentally are not in A to G courses already because that's not their bent. My fear is that they will become frustrated in an avenue toward linked learning. If they're in those courses, they will get frustrated for the same reason they're getting frustrated in traditional education. And I could be wrong, but I'm okay with this in addition to, not instead of. And I'm afraid that just with the small pot of resources that we have now, it will be instead of. And
we are again proposing linked learning in addition to, and the cost of this particular bill, which is just again to put a certification on a teaching credential, that there really is no additional cost. And the California PTA, the Chambers of Commerce up and down the state, the School Boards Association, they wouldn't be supporting this because they also know the value of CTE if they felt this was a danger to CTE. Only Fred's group is here to oppose.
Well, and if my colleague Mark Weiland was here, he would speak even stronger out on this issue because I know it's near to his heart, but he won't be here today. But I just wanted to chat.
All right. Any other comments? We have a quorum. Secretary, will you please call the roll?
Romero.
Here.
Romero here. Huff.
Here.
Huff here. Alquist. Hancock. Lou. Here. Lou here. Emerson. Here. Emerson here. Price.
Here.
Price here. Semidian. Weiland. You have a quorum.
Okay, members, we do have a quorum. Would you care to close on the measure, Assemblyman Block?
No, I would just ask your support. Again, the arguments against are really not arguments against this bill. They're against an imagined concern that could arise somewhere down the road. This bill only goes to do better job of training teachers to teach in a linked learning environment, to keep students motivated, to keep students in school, to cut the dropout rate. This bill, again, is supported by PTA, School Boards Association, Chambers of Commerce, and I ask your support as well.
Okay, is there a motion on the bill?
I'll move that.
Move the bill. Call the roll.
Romero.
Aye.
Romero, aye. Huff.
No.
Huff, no. Alquist. Emerson.
No.
Emerson, no. Hancock. Lou.
Aye.
Lou, aye. Price.
Aye.
Price, aye. Semidian. Weiland.
3-2.
Okay, the measure has 3 votes. We'll keep it on call.
Thank you, Member.
Members, we have several items that are proposed consent items. Let me go ahead and read these to you.
These are the item numbers, the file numbers here.
But these ones we have with amendments too, right?
Right.
Okay, file item 5, AB 1713, is proposed consent with amendments. File item 7, AB 1841, is proposed consent. It will go to judiciary. File item 8, AB 1874, proposed consent. File item 9, AB 1890, is proposed consent with amendments. File item 10, AB 1891, is proposed consent. File item 12, AB 2048, is proposed consent with amendments. File item 13, AB 2075, is proposed consent. File item 14, AB 2081, is proposed consent. File item 15, AB 2160, is proposed consent. File item 18, ACR 88, is proposed consent. And file item 19, AJR 939, is proposed consent as well. So we have several items that are proposed consent. All right, let's go ahead and continue. File item 1, Conway, Assemblymember Conway, AB 346. Welcome.
Chair, members. I'm here today with, thank you. I need help. I'm here with AB 346. It's a bill to delay the implementation of a bill I had last year, 1025, which was signed into law. Last year's bill, AB 1025, with an effective date of July 1st, 2010, requires volunteer coaching on school campuses to be fingerprinted and pass a background check before working with children. After the bill was signed into law last year, concerns were raised about who is actually required to be fingerprinted, and issues arose requiring duplicative
fingerprints. My office has been working with all concerned parties since the issues were brought to light in September without coming to consensus. I am committed to continue to work towards a solution, but until one is reached, it is necessary to delay the implementation of the bill by 1 year. Specifically, AB 346 delays the implementation of AB 1025 by 1 year while allowing the Commission on Teacher Credentialing to continue fingerprinting people for school districts should they choose to. I plan to continue working with all interested parties towards a full resolution. In the meantime, we need to have some sort of resolution on this bill. Here with me to testify today are Rand Martin, representing the California Charter Schools Association, and Laura Preston with the Association of California School Administrators. They can share with you some of their concerns with last year's bill.
All right, witnesses in support.
Madam Chair and members, Rand Martin, actually not here on behalf of the Charter Schools Association, here on behalf of LA's Best, After School All-Stars LA, and the Partnership for Children and Youth. And the Assembly member has outlined the situation. First, I want to say that we, I think, collectively deeply regret that we didn't catch the problems with AB 1025 last year, which would have avoided a lot of anxiety over the last 6 months. We really appreciate the work of your staff on this. She's been very, very helpful on it. Unfortunately, it's been a very complicated issue. The core issue has been the duplication of fingerprinting for many people who work on school campuses. My clients, the after-school programs, there are thousands of after-school employees who are responsible for getting their own fingerprints in most school districts. School districts do require it. Under the implementation of AB 1025, the school district requirement and the 1025 requirement would come into play. Our employees who are making barely more than minimum wage would have to pay for 2 fingerprinting and background checks, which we think is unfair. We think there is a way of solving this, but like so many of these complicated issues, the more we unravel it, the more problems we identify. And as it turned out, this was not a simple fix this year, and we do need some time to get it fixed and get it fixed right. That's why we're asking for the delay, and hopefully you'll be able to support that today. Thank you.
Okay. Others in support. And I think we don't have opposition, do we? There is no opposition, so if we can go quickly. In fact, I'd even wondered if we want to move this to the consent calendar.
If you do, I'm not going to say a word.
No objection? Okay, then you know what? This is proposed consent and quite compelling.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
And it's a cautionary tale perhaps to all of us, sort of be careful what you pass. All right, cautionary tale noted.
No good deed goes unpunished, Madam Chair.
Let's move forward.
Thank you.
All right, next item. Do we have any other members? If we don't, we will put the bills over. Sergeants, will you please call? And if members are not here, we will finish our business. Okay, let's go ahead. Excellent. Let's go ahead and move the, is that a motion? To move the consent calendar, proposed consent calendar. I've already delineated those items. Secretary, please call the roll.
Romero?
Aye.
Romero, aye. Huff?
Aye.
Huff, aye. Alquist? Hancock?
Aye.
Hancock, aye. Lou? Lou, aye. Emerson? Emerson, aye. Price? Price, aye. Semidian? Wyland? 6-0.
6-0. Is everybody here? We'll keep it open. We'll keep the roll open for all members. Okay, let's do the next one. We've just gotten word that file item 3, AB 1691, Amiano, apparently he's under the weather, and at his request is requesting that we put this bill over to next week. So we will go ahead and remove that from the file for today. Okay, we're calling for Assembly Member Knight, Chesbro, Brownlee, and Mendoza. Sergeants, any word on those members? Is that okay? Do you want to move that too? Any other items we want to move to consent?
Oh, of course, I'd asked. I think she sent you a memo asking if they can get the roll call open until she got in around 10 or 10:30. Just to mention it.
Okay, but if we close, we
We'll close. We have enough votes.
Hello. Okay, file item 4. Please proceed.
Good morning, Madam Chair. Thank you very much. Assembly Bill 1703 would provide an additional $5,000 loan assumption per year over the course of 4 years for nurses who serve in qualified veterans homes. This would then allow a total of $10,000 a year for the period of 4 years, capping the program at $40,000 for participants working in veterans' homes. $40,000 was chosen because it was found that most students didn't acquire loans over that amount. In addition, this bill also corrects what we think is an inadvertent oversight in the code section. It would allow those who are called up to military active duty service as an allowable reason for an extended leave of absence under all the SNAPL programs. I would like to accept the amendments discussed in comment 8.
Okay, those are accepted.
I believe that this program is essential to repaying our veterans for their service to our country and allow students the unique opportunity to utilize their nursing skills while also having the benefit of paying off nearly all their college loans. As the SNAPL NSF program is fairly new, it is underutilized. We hope, along with the California Student Aid Commission, that the increased funding will provide an incentive for more students to apply for SNAPL. As you know, we have a new veterans home that just opened this last week. We had one open last year. There are more opportunities for our nursing students, our new nursing graduates, to work in these veterans homes, kind of repay, helping out our veterans, and get repaid on their loans by this program. I ask for your aye vote.
All right, witnesses in support.
Good morning, Lori Najura from the California Student Aid Commission. And the Commission supports AB 1703 and supports the increase of access to financial aid as well as the increase in benefits of financial aid so that they become meaningful. And even though we only have a small number of participants at this time, we do know that their outstanding student loan debt ranges from $20,000 to $40,000. So this bill then makes the benefit meaningful for those students who are entering qualifying veterans homes for service. Thank you.
Other witnesses in support? Witnesses in opposition? We did not receive official opposition. Questions from the committee? Okay, the bill has been moved by Senator Emerson as amended. A number of the concerns were delineated in the analysis with respect to sort of the equity of looking at if and again, I think a very noble bill. We have recommended do pass with amendments. We are very cognizant, though, of differential vacancy rates, whether one works in a correctional facility and whether or not that was wise to do the doubling of this issue. So I think well-intentioned with the amendments, we think it can move forward. It's going to be a continuing concern as we move forward, but we think this is a measure that we can support. All right. Secretary, call the roll.
Romero?
Aye.
Romero, aye. Huff?
Aye.
Huff, aye. Alquist? Emerson? Emerson, aye. Hancock? Aye. Hancock, aye. Lou? Aye. Lou, aye. Price?
Aye.
Price, aye. Simidian? Wyland? We have 6-0.
6-0. We'll keep the measure on call. It has enough votes to go out, but we'll keep it on call. Okay, file item 6, Assemblyman Chesbro. Okay, welcome.
Madam Chair, members. AB 1724 would allow the necessary small school funding formula to be used in Del Norte County Unified School District to support the operation of Mountain School, which has 35 students enrolled, and Margaret Keating School, which has 92 students enrolled. Both schools educate K through 5 students in very remote and rural eastern and southern edges of the county of Del Norte. The roads towards Crescent City are intermittently closed during winter months due to mud and rock slides and during construction in the summertime. This funding will allow these schools to remain open and prevent children from being bused many, many miles into Crescent City for school. One of these schools serves the Yurok tribe, which is one of California's largest, but also California's poorest Indian tribes. Being a school on the reservation, it serves many Native Americans and is a very important school to the tribe. This bill has passed unanimously so far on the Assembly side. I have with me the superintendent of the Del Norte County School District.
Okay, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm here to support AB 1724. Thank you very much. I'm here to support AB 1724. My name is Jan Morehouse. I'm superintendent of one of 7 single district counties in the state of California. We serve about 4,800 students in our district. Because we have unified back in 1964, We have too large a population to be eligible for the small necessary school funding formula. We do get pressure from people that live in town to just go ahead and close those outlying schools, save money. We absolutely understand why the parents and families want us to keep those schools open. The little kindergartners that would ride into school and the first graders and second graders on the buses, their older brothers and sisters might be okay if they get stuck because of rock slides overnight or 2 nights. Sometimes we have employees that can't make it into work from these outlying areas. It's harder for a mom and a dad of a little one to put them on the bus and to know that not only is it 45 minutes or so for them to get into town, but there's some possibilities that they won't get home for the night. So we really believe that the solution that those families will choose is not the very best solution. Sometimes families move to the fringe edges of the communities because there's lower cost housing, trailer parks, and so forth. We're not eager for those folks to disappear from our school sites into homeschooling programs. And so we appreciate your considering this bill today.
All right, questions from the committee? Is there any opposition? We didn't receive any. Questions from the committee? Okay, the bill has been moved. Closing comments?
Well, I would just very much appreciate your vote. I'm at your mercy.
Okay, and we want the little kindergartners to get home. All right, call the roll.
Romero?
Aye.
Romero, aye. Huff?
Aye.
Huff, aye. Alquist? Emerson?
Aye.
Emerson, aye. Hancock?
Aye.
Hancock, aye. Lou?
Aye.
Lou, aye. Price?
Aye.
Price, aye. Simidian? Wyland? 6-0.
6-0. We'll keep it on call.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair.
Too. All right. What do we have next? Okay, Assemblyman Mendoza. File item 17. Welcome. Welcome.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Members, I'm here to present AB 2363, which will create parity for classified employees when charter schools are established. AB 2363 requires that at least one half of permanent classified employees estimated to work at a charter school to sign a petition to start a new charter school. This bill also requires at least 50% of the permanent classified employees currently employed at a public school to sign a petition to convert an existing school into a charter school. Classified employees play an important role in our education system by assisting with special education classes, English learners, and a variety of other duties. It is clear that the creation of a charter school will impact classified employees, and I believe they should be given a voice in the process and a seat at the table. This bill is sponsored by Service Employees International Union and is supported by the California Federation of Teachers, the California School Employees Association, and the California Labor Federation. I respectfully ask for an aye vote.
Okay, witnesses in support.
Michelle Castro, the Service Employees International Union, we're the sponsors. This is a simple parity bill that would provide classified employees a method of showing or stating some interest in being employed by a charter school, and we ask for your aye vote. Thank you.
Okay, next witness.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is Jeff Freitas with the California Federation of Teachers, and we support this bill and ask for your aye vote. We see that the classified are an integral part of the education system at the schools, not only the adults on campus that are involved in protecting the students, cleaning the campuses up, but are in the classroom as paraprofessionals as well and have some academic involvement in the creation and the providing of instruction. And we believe that this would help further the issue of what the charter schools are doing and how they're processing further in their petition and what their academic goals are.
Next witness.
Joshua Golka with the California School Employees Association, also in support.
Okay, others in support. Witnesses in opposition.
Madam Chair and members, Rand Martin, this time indeed representing the California Charter Schools Association. We regret to oppose this bill. The association has long supported additions to the petition requirements when there is a gap to be filled, and the history of the charter school statutory scheme has many examples of that. This is not a case where there is a gap to be filled, and in fact, the only thing that this bill does is add an impediment to the creation of charter schools. The reason that parents and teachers are part of the signature requirement is because they're part of the educational innovation that's going on at a charter school, the reason for a charter school really to be so different from a traditional public school. By adding another element of employees, important as they are to the campus, simply adds an impediment, and they do not serve necessarily the central educational goals of the charter school. And for that reason, we don't see that there's a gap to be filled here. We'd ask for your no vote. Thank you.
Any other opposition? Questions from the committee? Senator Huff?
Yeah, charter schools are fitting a very important need in our communities. When the public school system fails them particularly, there's very few pathways for parents or, to have a quality education for their kids. So they come with these charters, and they're able to get rid of a lot of the restrictions that may have been a problem in the first place. But what I see this doing is putting an anchor around their neck that makes them less flexible to be able to meet those real needs. And we run the risk of losing them completely to the public school system. There's homeschooling, there's private schools, other things. But charter schools are successful, most of them, to the degree that they are, because they have that flexibility. And this is also requiring signatures from employees that won't necessarily be employed by the conversion charter schools. Some of them cut deals with the teachers so the teachers can get more compensation, but they have to dump their own trash or sweep their own rooms or something like that. And so that, to me, says we want to keep the flexibility there. That's what's allowing them to survive, and we need to do more to encourage charter schools. This is probably going the other direction, so I can't support your bill today.
Other questions from the committee? Senator Hancock?
Thank you. Thank you. I am a big proponent of involving the classified staff in the school family so that they can take an active interest in the children. However, it does seem to be that there's some problems here. For example, if you had a school with 25 teachers and 5, let's say, classified staff, and you have to have half of each group or more than half signing off, you could have 2 people eliminating the possibility of the charter school. And it is true, I think, that the required signatures should be weighted toward the teachers and the parents with an immediate interest in what's happening. So I don't know that I can vote for this the way it is, although I could. I wondered if you'd considered, Assemblyman, doing something like having all personnel at the school, from the teachers down to the classified staff, being part of one petition. Or, there might be some other things that could be done that wouldn't, that would skew it so heavily toward a smaller proportion of the people working with the children. But I do like the idea very much of including in some way the classified staff in the decisions that go on at the school, so they feel part of that commitment to the children.
Senator Hancock, I share your concerns. In fact, the committee has recommended a hold on this bill. I do view it as an additional barrier, an additional point of making it more difficult for charter schools to be created. And I think especially at this time when we're looking at federal policies that are saying we've got to take on the toughest assignment of turning around essentially the dropout factories, the lowest performing schools, having the courage to do the conversions that are required. This does put forth an additional barrier and obstacle that I think takes us away from forward movement that we've made. I agree with Senator Hancock. The voice of classified are very critical and important. In fact, I had also said, too, perhaps there's some other way in another vehicle at another time to think about that 50% and do a mixture. Do one pot, 50% of teachers and classified, although I do believe that overall, in terms of the educational outcomes, the priority, I think, still should be with teachers and, of course, the parents looking for the conversion or the change. So I am not inclined to support this measure today. I think it takes us backwards rather than forward. I appreciate the concern that you've raised, but I do not believe that this is the answer. I mean, unless there is a motion, my recommendation would be to hold the bill in committee. And any other comments, or Assemblyman, you may close.
Madam Chair, can we hold the bill in committee and work on some of the suggestions that have been made today?
We can hold the bill in committee and see if the author would, come back and think about some of these other ideas. I don't know that it would garner support at that point either, but I know that there's been some ideas of looking at a blend, and that's something that I would be open to, but I think you open up a host of other opposition that may not be inclined to go there. But as it's written, if we keep it on hold, it means basically it stays in the committee. We have a couple of weeks. The author can come back and see if there's something that could be worked on.
Okay, if it gives that opportunity to bring it back maybe at the next meeting or the one after to see if there's some amendments that could be worked out. I appreciate the comments. I just don't see how the classifier were referred to as simply as an impediment. I thought that was kind of. That was a very sad comment to hear from a professional, the way they justify or the way they look at our classified folks. I understand the flexibility issue, but I do think that if, I do think that it really takes a whole school to teach our kids, from the person who's cleaning up the sinks and making sure the desks are clean, the rooms and the trash is emptied out, to the person who's actually even crossing the kids across the street. I think it really does take all of us to ensure that our kids get the opportunity to learn. So I think allowing everybody the opportunity to be at the table and really have a say in the direction that our schools are taking, I think it's very vital. But I respect your comments and your concerns. Look forward to working with you on some amendments that might hopefully sway your support.
All right, the bill is held in committee. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, is Assemblymember Brownlee?
They went to go check on it. They're trying to find it.
Okay, let's go ahead. If we can call members, then we'll start lifting calls. Let's go ahead, and we're just waiting for one more. Let's go ahead and...
Okay.
Okay, we're going to go ahead and... Well, let's give people a couple of minutes. All right, he won't be in.
Okay.
Is Brownlee coming, or do we want to just put those bills over? Okay, let's go ahead and lift calls, and then we can go ahead. There's 2 items without objection. We could just put them over to the next committee hearing. All right, let's go ahead. We're lifting calls at this point. Okay, file item 2. It has 3 ayes, 2 noes. Call the absent members.
Alquist. Hancock.
Aye.
Hancock, aye. Semidian, Wyland.
It's 4-2.
Wait, do we need
5.
What time is she coming?
She said around 10, between 10 and 10:30, and Semidian's out of the building.
Danny.
Oh, okay, okay.
Pardon?
This is item 2, AB 1223. And the vote is right now 4-2.
This is going to fail. It's 4-2. The bill fails. Without objection, reconsideration granted. At the next hearing, we'll go ahead and just do, it's eligible for vote only.
Now this is
Block.
vote only.
Okay, file item 4. This is AB 1703. Call the absent members.
Alquist, Semidian, and Wyland.
6-0. The bill is out. File item 6, AB 1724. Call the absent members.
Alquist, Semidian, Wyland.
6-0. The bill is out. File item 11, AB...
These 2 are Brownlee bills. We're going to put them over.
Okay. So file item 11, AB 1933, and file item 16, AB 2297, will be put over to the next committee hearing.
Okay, just one more.
One more item. The consent calendar. Call the absent members.
Alquist, Semidian, and Wyland.
6-0.
6-0. The consent calendar is out. Okay, members, that's it. We finished quite productively. Maybe it's the charm of Senator Emerson. Who knows? Let's keep it up. Okay, the committee is now adjourned.